You are now entering what can only be described as a true free speech zone, where nothing is off limits and there is absolutely no censorship. Welcome to Open Mic with BoogBrand.
What is up, everybody? We are live. Sorry for a little bit of delay tonight. I had to get a couple things ready. I wanted to do some things tonight. Don't really know what we're going to get into tonight. Don't really know how things are going to go. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun and, learn some things. So if you haven't guessed it, my guest for this evening backed out last minute. So we're going to change up things a little bit. People are doing things, making it a little bit more difficult for me. So I'm going to have some backup stuffs planned, and we're going to get some things together. A little bit of a roll call in chat. Operator Tony says first, duh. Yeah, well, some of us have lives, Tony. Just kidding. We love you. Dr. Catmilk, Shaloha. Chamber Defense coming in saying, what's up, guys? He's heading to the hospital after storms last week. There's 50 roads affected. Yeah, you guys got hit pretty hard down there. Joseph, I know you're down in the same area. So, like I said, the good news is that everybody is safe, at least. You guys are okay. Cleanup will take a little while, but cleanup is what it is, and you guys got a decent community down by you. So that's definitely good news. American White Guy, here for this. Yeah, you know what? We don't know what the fuck we're doing. So I'm just going to kind of play with things tonight and try some stuff out. So, as you know, I'm based out of the Wisconsin area, so we've got some pretty big news out of Wisconsin this week. Different things that, people are kind of tracking nationwide. Obviously, we've got the political side of things with the recount and all that stuff. And, for as far as that's concerned, man, I don't even want to speculate at this point. We've seen a lot of shit over the last week. Everybody's fairly confident on both sides that their side won, and that is problematic. I think that's going to lead to some issues over the next couple weeks. It's going to lead to some pretty high tensions, and some of us don't really want to see that happen. So, as you see, we're still getting things set up, still getting things rocking and rolling here. Lights are up now, though, so so now the show is ready to go. All right, and I'm also sorry if you guys hear my chair today. Apparently, it wants to be extra loud tonight. So yeah, AWG touched on one of the things that I actually want to get into tonight. Kyle Rittenhouse is out on $2 million bail. It's not a win. It's definitely not a win. One of the things that a lot of people are forgetting is that he's being prosecuted for murder. The individual that he shot in the arm, who's still walking around free with 0 charges, isn't being charged with anything, despite being a felon in possession of a firearm that night, which is telling. The other thing is that very few people know this, I guess, nationally. Locally, Midwest, I think a lot of people are aware of it, but they are charging the friend of Kyle Rittenhouse with a straw purchase. So he used money supplied to him by Kyle Rittenhouse, per the allegations, to secure the firearm in question. So the idea is that funds from Kyle, and this is all allegedly, there's no proof to anything yet. Most everything is just hearsay, kind of just putting a case together. But the whole deal comes down to a few things. Kyle Rittenhouse, apparently, according to the timeline, used money from the stimulus check from coronavirus. There we go. He said it out loud. Again, COVID-19 coronavirus. So we'll get a little banner at the bottom of our stream this week. Keep those YouTube guys working at least. We ain't getting anything from them. Make them work for it. They should have never been charged, Chamber Defense says. It's true, he shouldn't have, but he has been. And even though the defense... the prosecuting attorney's office seemed to, offer a layup to the attorney, Lynn Wood, who, obviously has every right to pursue a self-defense case. They are definitely doing some things to kind of negate that defense. The prosecuting attorneys, when they initially released the probable cause report basically had it completely laid out where there was no way that he wasn't getting off on self-defense. You could tell totally that they were being pressured politically to push this out. It wasn't something that they wanted to do based on the notes that were in it, based on the way it read. And at the end of the day, basically made it so their attorney could walk in, say self-defense, here's all the proof. It's even in your report. It's in what you say is the probable cause statement. And here we go. The issue is in the state of Wisconsin, and don't take this as legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. I was just in the system enough to understand a lot of the law and understand where to look and how to follow this up. So I've done some research on it. In the state of Wisconsin, if you are in the act of committing a misdemeanor or felony crime and you are attacked, you cannot claim self-defense if you kill a person. At the very best, his attorneys, if they can prove that he was in the act of committing a crime, the very best that they can do is get, justifiable homicide charges, which is, justifiable and homicide very rarely go together. It is something that can come up, but it's so hard to get that because a jury looks at homicide as murder, and justifiable means that it's acceptable to murder somebody. So the probability of a justifiable homicide charges is almost non-existent. But what they're doing with his friend is prosecuting him for a straw purchase. Back to that. Manslaughter and justifiable homicide, basically the same thing. Justifiable homicide would be a little bit less time in jail because they look at it kind of, it's like basically it was self-defense, but you did something stupid in the process. So manslaughter will get you 5 to 10 mandatory. Justifiable homicide will be like 5 to 7. It's negligible when you're talking about a kid his age. 7 years he'll be back out on the street before he's 30. But what people don't realize too is that, at his age, these are formative years. They really do. If you lose these years to prison, the majority of people who come out, they're stopped, they're paused. When they go in to prison, their development mentally, physically, everything kind of pauses. And when they come out, he's going to act like a 17-year-old kid when he comes back out, which is even worse because now he's a 17-year-old kid with felony charges, and now he's facing the rest of his life where he's probably got 5 years where he's going to continue to fuck up if he gets released early, anything like that, and end up back in the system. So it's not a good situation for somebody his age. It's not a good situation for anybody, but especially of his age, I think it's kind of devastating. No matter how you kind of cut it, his life is pretty much fucked from this point forward. But back to his friend and what they're trying to do. Really what we're seeing here is they're pushing this straw purchase so that they can claim that the weapon was owned illegally. And if the weapon was owned illegally, it was therefore being possessed illegally by Kyle during the commission of this crime or the act of self-defense. Due to it being a weapon charge, it would be a felony illegal possession of a firearm. So it would be during the act of a felony, he would not be able to claim self-defense no matter what happened. So unfortunately, if those charges go through and if those charges are met by the prosecuting attorney, it's basically a way for them to subjugate him away from a self-defense charge, which unfortunately I think is kind of bullshit, but it's what they're doing. So nationally, even though it's not being talked about much, we really need to draw attention to this too. So, it's kind of redefining what is a straw purchase, as well. So technically, there was a discussion about him purchasing the firearm and him keeping the firearm here according to the allegations. I don't know firsthand. I don't know the truth. I don't know if any of this is even real. The fact of the matter is a firearm was purchased with somebody's money and Kyle got it in his possession. I guess that's where I'm going to leave it because I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on the whole deal. It is kind of shitty. Straw purchase laws are tough. They're that way for a reason. They're to prevent people who are otherwise unable to purchase a firearm from getting it. The reason I think they're kind of shit charges is because technically, if Kyle Rittenhouse were a Wisconsin resident, he would have been able to purchase that rifle himself from the Wisconsin gun broker or whatever, and there wouldn't have been an issue. So technically, yes, even if the gun was purchased with the intent that it would be used by Kyle, the possession of the firearm and where it resided technically was not with Kyle. It was with his friend. So it's no different than if I have 3 pistols and, hey, every time you come up here from Illinois, bud, we're going to go to the range and this is the one you can shoot every single time. And if you ever move up here, you know what? I'm just going to give it to you. Well, technically, by the definition that they're saying, this could be a straw purchase for that individual, regardless of where the money came from. I think it's something we got to watch, because as a gun community, I think it's dangerous. I think it's something that really could end up changing the way we do things. They've already tried doing it with legislation where if you want to borrow a gun to somebody, you got to take it to an FFL, make them fill out a background check, do all this hobnob bullshit, and deal with that. It's a slippery slope. These charges are bullshit. They stem politically. That's pretty much all I'm going to say on it. I know a couple guys in chat kind of, AWG, it's so fucked, 1776. It didn't matter how old you were. We gave teenagers and preteens guns to get our revolution. What the fuck has happened? I know, I get it. The thing is it's not an issue of, man, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, I don't even think it's an issue of age at this point. Nobody's saying that he couldn't have been in possession of that firearm. It's just a matter of, now they're just trying to make it an illegal possession charge. And it's not an illegal possession because he was underage. The state of Wisconsin, as long as you are with somebody who's of age, you can be in possession of a long rifle at the age of 16. I think 12 if you were with your parent or guardian. 15 or 16 as long as you were with another adult, which means anybody over the age of 18. It's opening gun weekend up here. Right? This tomorrow morning, there's probably going to be somewhere in the realm of 2,000 to 5,000 17-year-old kids in the woods with long rifles. Some of them are going to be ARs. Some of them are going to be 308s. Some of them are going to be AR-10s, M14s, SKSs, AK variants. All these scary black rifles are going to be in the woods. And just like every other fucking year, 200,000 people are going to take to the woods, and 200,000 people are going to come out of them. There's going to be an accident here or an accident there because people are stupid. Never going to fix stupid, can't get rid of it. Yeah, Dr. Catmilk says the Orange Vest Army. It's true, Orange and pink. Don't forget, we got women, and in the state of Wisconsin, you can wear hot pink if you're a woman, because apparently they think that's the thing. So, I don't know, they say since doing that, the female hunting has gone up by 10%, but I don't think it fucking matters. I've never seen the pink in the woods, but whatever. Yeah, Chamber Defense says that's crazy, a terrible precedent set. Yeah, it's terrible to set that precedent. I grew up in a family around guns, hunting, this and that. Like, I learned what guns I liked by using other people's guns before I was 18. I knew that I liked a 308 or a 30-06 hunting rifle. That's a bolt action hunting rifle for accuracy and reaching out and touching them deer. There's nothing better in my eyes. And what I like isn't what somebody else likes. So take it with a grain of salt. Like, I'm not going to shit on what you like. You want to go out there and use a Mosin, you go for it. That's your thing. So, SKS, you like an SKS? Do it. There's nothing wrong with any of those rifles. I'll never turn people away from any type of hunting or gunning community because of what they like. So I hunt with people, or I've hunted with people who prefer shotguns to rifles. I've hunted with people who prefer, I've got guys that in my hunting party who have used 20 gauge shotguns every year. And then, another guy who's using an AR who's 50 yards away from him in another deer stand. Like, yes, we know where each other are. We're paying attention to that. We're paying attention to who's downrange from us. We're not shooting other people. And that's how the Orange Vest Army operates, We're out there to have fun. We're out there to put some meat in the freezer. And some people are out there for a trophy. But even them, they're out there, they're going to get the meat, So as much as I'm not about trophy hunting, I understand some people who do. So to each their own. And on that note, to anybody who's going out hunting this weekend here in Wisconsin, here in the Midwest, I know that it's pretty similar around here. Good luck. Get them fucking deer, bring them back, get that venison. It's good stuff. Especially in a time right now where who knows what the fuck's going to happen over the next month or two. The hunting is more important than ever. Putting meat in your freezer and making sure your family's fed is first and foremost for a lot of people. And if it isn't first and foremost for you, it's probably one of those things you probably should start thinking about. So I will kind of leave that at that. Another thing I do, I said earlier talking about the votes. It's definitely an interesting thing that's going on right now. I don't care what side you're on, whether you are of the camp that the election is being stolen and Trump won, whatever. I'm not discounting that. I am kind of the belief that I think there was definitely some shit done. I think there's a lot of answers that need to be had. But even to the other side, if it was the other way around, you'd be thinking the same thing. Even if Trump had won, I think all these election recounts and everything, as close as things were, they need to happen. They need to go through. We as the American people have known and joked about it for years that our vote doesn't matter. And in a situation where votes are this close and where things are happening like this, our votes are more important than ever. I think that's been proven. Like, the outcome of this election is of the utmost importance for a lot of communities and a lot of people that we know. And as Joseph Detmer says here, no side here, just make it true and just. Exactly. I don't care. At the end of the day, I just want the election over. I want to be able to know what the next 4 years are going to look like. If it's going to be a constant fight for our rights, or if it's going to be a constant fight for our rights. Face it, the last 4 years we fought for the same rights that we're going to fight for the next 4 years. We're going to fight for these rights every 4 years for the rest of our fucking lives. Unless something major changes anyways. So let's just certify the election. Let's get it figured out. Let's make sure that it was fair. Let's make sure that the right person won. Don't concede on either side until the election tallies are in. Everything is accounted for. All the unknowns are taken out. All the legislation is over, like the process has always been. And let's move on. Trump is still your fucking president until the middle of January. He was going to be, regardless of who won this election. So, suck it up, Buttercup. Deal with it. And there's still a long fucking time before then for all this to get shaken out. 2 hours. 2 hours is all it takes to transition. Everything ahead of it, you can plan for a transition. You're just basically giving a bunch of people job offers, and if at the end of the day you're not the president, then basically you just pull the job offer. They're not leaving their current position until after you get in anyways. So there's that. I don't even know. I don't know where to go from there. Like, what do you guys think? I know there's a couple of you in the chat. I don't care either way. I know AWG is very much behind Trump. I am too. of the two options that were out there, and let's not sugarcoat it. There was, I think, in Wisconsin on our ballot we had like 7 or 8 different people for president. There was only 2 options. There's only 2 viable options at the presidential level right now, unfortunately. We don't have enough people behind any of these other parties, and the fact of the matter is all these parties on the presidential ticket hurt us. You know, Joe Jorgensen may be a great presidential candidate, you know, but I don't, there was no coverage. There's no background. There's no any of that because the third parties don't have any local strongholds. So if we want to be serious and have a third or fourth party in the system, then we need to start taking that seriously locally first. We need to stop looking at it as Republican, Democrat on every single fucking ticket. And we need to actually start doing things for a third or fourth party to actually make it viable in the future. So the Republican Party didn't start out as this massive fucking party. It was just a little thing. Started actually right here where I am, the middle of freaking Wisconsin. Fond du Lac, Wisconsin is the birthplace of the Republican Party. And I'm literally 15 minutes from the building where that started, where I'm broadcasting from right now. So, yeah, we can start it. We can start it in a little ass shit place. But it's got to start small, and it has to grow. It has to build momentum. You're not just going to come in and take over. So, we need to start locally. We need to get it done at a local level first. And then from the local level, you expand up. And as you do that, you build momentum. With momentum, and we can do this over the next 8 years. It just literally has to happen locally, then, regionally, then via state, and then, Midwest, whatever part, the Great Northeast, whatever. It doesn't matter where it starts, but it has to start small and it has to roll out. So you need it to slowly just spread across the map like the fucking virus. It's got to go. Yeah, Joseph Detmer says, how about no party system, just candidate? I agree. Unfortunately, with the election process the way it is, the amount of money required to run for president, it is uncontrollable. Like, nobody is getting on a ticket without at least a multiple $1 million campaign. And I mean, we're talking 20, 30, 40 $million just to be even relevantly viable. Yeah, Chambers says that's where it starts, grassroots. It does. You can build a huge, huge thing if you start small. There's an old saying that says, inch by inch, everything is a cinch. That's true. I mean, if you decide you're going to try to jump 20 yards, you're never going to do it. But if you say you're going to jump a half a yard 40 times, you can do that. It's simple when you break it down. And that's what we got to do. We keep pushing these candidates and trying to get them up there and raising money, but there's no following. There's no grassroots following, and people think just, we're going to put the Constitution, the name of the Constitution behind them. To be honest, I trust them people less, because when I read what they stand behind, I'm going to literally hold a fire to their feet when it comes to the Constitution. There's no way around it. You call yourself a constitutionalist, I'm going to scrutinize everything you've done, and if anything goes against the Constitution, I'm calling bullshit. Like, I come from Wisconsin. If you guys aren't familiar, we have a sheriff from Milwaukee County who's no longer a sheriff, but was for a very long time. People are very familiar with him. I'll leave it there, and leave it to the chat to see if you guys can figure out what I'm talking about. Probably one of the most conservative sheriffs ever for the county that he was in. Probably one of the most conservative people in the nation. And for 20 years, he ran on a Democratic ticket. Why? Because he couldn't get elected running under a Republican ticket. ran for Democrat, ran it under Democrat, and he got elected over and over and over again. Yeah, AWG got it. David A. Clark. Exactly. The guy's a fucking beast, but he couldn't get elected if he was a Republican in Milwaukee County. Because everybody just looks at the ticket. Democrat, Republican. They don't fucking care. You know? They're out there, they're just voting party line. So, David Clark's, whole campaign strategy was, I'm a Democrat. I'm going to register as a Democrat, and I'm going to run Democrat. What do people care? I'm the sheriff. I'm not creating laws, I'm enforcing them. Right? No? There you go. So, with that, I'm going to kind of transition, a little bit. We've been doing this for about a half hour. We got, 8 people watching right now, maybe? No, five watching right now. I got 4 likes. It's not too bad. So, don't forget to hit that like button. It helps push us up a little bit. I don't ask that very often. Just fun to push it. See if we can bring any new faces in. That's the only reason I ever ask for anything like that. But I'm actually going to, I think, do something a little different. We have had some fun. A couple of guys we've had on AWG in the chat. He's a reaction channel. One of the other guys that we've had on XMC is a reaction channel. So I'm going to actually do a live reaction tonight. Have a little bit of fun. Kind of change what we're doing around here. Have a little fun with it. So we've been really serious. I don't know. Do you guys want to? I've kind of been looking like, do we want to? If I want to do this, do I want to react to music or do I want to react to something comedy? So kind of leave that up to the chat. What would you guys think of doing some reaction stuff? And what would you think of if we did like a comedy reaction? Yeah, Chamber Defense says, don't forget BoogBrand.com for awesome merch. Yeah, we've got some cool stuff on there. We're definitely going to be releasing some new shirts in the upcoming weeks. I'm going to do a little bit different stuff. Joseph Detmer says comedy. All right, so one of the things that I always like to do, I like to look at some different stuff. One of the comedians that I've been really into over the last year or so is definitely a different type of comedian. Let's see. Yeah, we'll go here. It's 8-minute 47-second clip. So Dr. Catmilk says, react to a DC fight. What do you mean react to a DC fight, American White Guy? You want me to react to a left versus right shit? Epic fails. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with Josh Blue. So AWG made me familiar because XMC just did a reaction to a Josh Blue video. Josh B. So I'm actually going to pull up here. We're going to have a little bit of fun and see what we can do here. So you'll get a sense for who Josh B is. I've never seen the one that I'm pulling up. I hope it's... I tell you what, it doesn't even... I'm just going to fast forward here a couple minutes to see if it's a comedy. Yeah. All right. We'll get... Yeah, there we go. So. All right. Try this. Daryl Wright has a good set on the Confederate flag. Yeah, I've heard of Daryl Wright. I haven't seen it. Oh, yeah. AWG says from the past rally in D.C. Yeah, I don't want to get into those fights, between the left and the right. And I do enjoy watching them, don't get me wrong. I don't want to react to them because, number one, I'm not Joe Rogan. I'm not going to call a fight, much less a one-sided fight. Most of them are very, very one-sided. So, we're going to do a little comedy here. We'll jump over to here. So this guy's name is Josh Blue. The video is Salute to the Troops. Not a bad video. He's got 265,000 views on it. We'll give it a shot. See. And let me know how the audio is if it needs. Yeah, Dr. Campbell should be coming back. Are we still not hearing audio? Alright. Let's see here. Sorry, keeping you in the dark here. I think I got it figured out, so we're going to try this again. I'm going to go with it for a second. Let me know if you get the audio.
Here,
we'll back it up a little bit here.
You can get a Showtime special.
So you can let me know if you get the audio
Change on
through.
Netflix. Ladies and gentlemen, he's his own bobblehead, Josh Blue.
Thank you. All right. I know a lot of you looking at me like, I hope that guy didn't drive anywhere.
All right, perfect.
I thought the first performer had cerebral palsy. I don't know what this is. I'm really happy to be here. In fact, you know how happy I am? I'm as happy as two horrible musicians on a Geico commercial. Wish I was half as happy as those two. I live in Denver, Colorado, and I know people are excited. Oh yeah, we legalized weed, but I wanted you guys to know I've been treating it like it was legal for years. I'm excited to be here.
So yeah, like David says, he first saw Josh be on Last Comic Standing. Yeah, that's where I kind of first came into contact with him too. Definitely kind of forgot about him for a while, and then XMC, ex-military criminal, had him on before. I think it was like episode number 5. Did a reaction to him just the other day, and I was like, shit, I gotta go back and find some more of this guy. And you know, when I had my guest drop out tonight, I'm like, you know, I think maybe if I do a reaction, it'll be interesting. We'll do that on the show tonight. Introduce him to a few more people, just because one thing people don't realize too, my family, I have people who are disabled in my family, and my family for years have taken care of people with disabilities, including individuals with CP or cerebral palsy, which if you aren't familiar with cerebral palsy and what it can do to you, I definitely recommend you look it up a little bit and find out. It's not. I mean, a lot more people are tolerant nowadays of it than what used to be, but it's definitely something that's hard to explain to somebody unless you're around it, and the people who are around it, they get it. You know, these guys are genuinely good people for the most part. Some of them can be dicks, but they're all real. They wear everything on their sleeve and they tell it how it is. So Josh B is not an exception to the type of person that they're very passionate about something, and he's very passionate about comedy. So that's something that I've always respected of him. So you know, it's like somebody. This is the reason I wanted to share him. So we'll get back into it. You don't have to listen to me talk.
It's an honor to get to perform for the troops. You know, I obviously never joined the military for, well, have a look. But what I did is I actually was a member of the U.S. Paralympic national soccer team. Wow, where were you guys at the games? Could have used those 28 claps. I know a lot of you maybe don't even know what the Paralympics are. It's the Olympics for people with physical disabilities. It's the second largest sporting event on the planet. Yeah, it's second only to the able-bodied Olympics. Oh yeah, must be tough running with two legs, huh? Ain't nothing but punk bitches to us. I love being on that team. It was amazing. I got to go to 8 different countries representing the U.S. And yeah, you're laughing because you don't know how I represented you, or? Oh no. I got to go to the 04 Paralympics in Athens, Greece, and I actually was trying to go to the last Summer Olympics in London, but unfortunately I got cut for doping. Wasn't performance enhancing. I thought I should have got a medal for being able to play in that condition.
Yeah, so Dr. Catmucks, is your great uncle, was mentally and physically handicapped. A damn good carpenter. That's the case. Only hand tools and foot powered lathe. You know, they're really good. You know, they're no different than anybody else, and that's the biggest thing that people need to understand is if you have somebody who has a disability, it doesn't mean they're any different than everybody else. They can learn a skill, they can do a job, and they can probably learn it and do it better than a lot of other people. And one of the things that he touched on before was kind of like, you punk bitches to us, to regular athletes, like, they're serious about it, man. There is nothing more serious to some of these guys than their sports or their hobby. They have got confidence, and you know, one of the big things, I'm not a huge fan of it, but the movie was hilarious. The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville. Not for Johnny Knoxville's portrayal or anything like that, and I liked the movie in general. I'm not knocking him or anything like that. And if it was made today, yeah, they'd all hang. But the actors in there who actually have the disabilities, and the people they did spotlight in there, that's not just them as actors, that's them in general. Like, it doesn't matter what they're doing, their attitudes are very much the same. They have an attitude, and they're not afraid to use it, so that's huge by them.
I love being on that team, man. It was amazing. I got to hang out with other physically disabled dudes, and we've all been through some of the same BS, so we got really comfortable with each other. We got so comfortable, we came up with this game where we would see who could hold open their messed up hand longer. Like, ready, go. Okay. Oh gosh. Oh damn it! All right. Good game. Good game. I got you next time. One thing I really miss about the team is traveling with everybody. Because to me, there's nothing more entertaining than watching 12 dudes with cerebral palsy get off an airplane in a row. Everybody in the terminal thinks there's some type of zombie invasion going on. He's a goalie. I could do all 12 if you need me to. None of us really walk like that. We just like jacking around, you know. See how far through customs we can get. Last one tased loses.
Yeah, it's okay to laugh, guys. You know, it's funny.
I don't like that game. That team is awesome, man. Well, not on the field, but we got our asses kicked by everybody, man. It just wasn't fair. We were playing against Russia and Ukraine, and like those countries, they get to practice twice a day, and we didn't do that. They're so good. I've been playing against them, watching them play like I'm a spectator. Like, oh man, huh. Well, that was a great pass. Wow. They're so good. I've been playing against them, just looking at the team like, well, there's nothing even wrong with that guy right there. I call BS number 5, man. Better get a neurologist up in here. Then I run by, be like, oh man, his hand's on backward. All right. Hey, you guys, I just want to say I feel very fortunate that I'm able to come up here and make people laugh. You know, I feel like the world gave me lemonade and I drank that. You guys are awesome. Thank you. Oh.
Audio. That's awesome. So, anyways, like I said, it's guys like this we need to support. If you're not familiar with him, you know, head over to Josh Bluetube. That's his official YouTube. Give him a subscribe. He's got 22.8 thousand followers. Been around 2006. You know, winner of the Last Comic Standing. This was fun. I'm not gonna keep everybody for too long. You know, it's different doing this than any other thing. So I have had fun with this. Maybe we'll do it in the future if people liked it. It's definitely something I'll have to get used to. You know, switching audios back and forth. React to Mitch Hedberg. Yeah, I wouldn't be reacting to Mitch Hedberg. I'd be just listening to Mitch Hedberg. I've heard everything of Mitch Hedberg's, so I would do that. Definitely. Dude's fucking hilarious. Dr. Catmilk, he has a survival series. Yeah. I think you're talking about Josh Blue. I think. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But he, you know, these guys, they're smaller. Like, to me, the guy's fucking hilarious. He should have 1 million subscribers on YouTube, especially now with the COVID. They're not able to tour, and they're not going to be able to tour for quite a while. A couple comedy places opening up, and they're not going to be making shit ton of money or anything like that. So, you know, pass them around, get their YouTubes up so that they can make a little bit of income, do some fun stuff with that. Other than that, I don't have anything really I'm going to keep you guys for anymore. It's Friday night, 8:50 p.m., so my time. Everybody else, you know, if you're not in this time, you're not in the right time. So figure that one out. Uh, just fucking with you. But anyways, I appreciate you guys stopping by, hanging in with all the audio issues and all this other stuff. I'm not gonna do any more this evening. I'm not gonna keep it going for right now. I just wanted to say thank you again to everybody who stops by every week. You guys are either crazy, sadistic, or for some reason you actually kind of like me. Which the latter one, I'm sorry, you should probably have your head checked. But again, just fucking with you. Yeah, so I will definitely have a good time this weekend. I hope you guys have a good time this weekend. For all the hunters out there, good luck. Get things going. Bring home that meat and have some fun with it. So to everybody else in the chat that isn't hunting, try not to spend too much money this week. I'm sure everybody's Christmas will be just fine. So, anybody who does the Black Friday shopping thing, you're fucking crazy. At least in store. BoogBrand.com. I'm going to actually probably start doing sales maybe starting tomorrow on the store. I think so. Check it out. We're at 15% off right now. Maybe tomorrow it'll be down to 20%. Black Friday, probably going to be right around 20% off. Maybe we'll do a free shipping thing if we get enough people interested in it. So if you're interested in a Black Friday deal, you know how to get a hold of me. You know what to say. Make a comment down below, not in the chit chat over here. Yeah, definitely. You want something? Be good, cool, have a good time. But definitely check it out. BoogBrand.com. We're gonna have a couple new shirts coming out this week, probably. Something 2A, something 2A, and something probably 2A. So if it isn't 2A, it probably isn't coming out this week. Maybe that's a hint. So to everybody else in the chat, thanks for stopping by. Lag Demon, Cat Milk, Chambered Defense, AWG, everybody who's been here. Operator Tony, I'm sure you're still hanging around. Everybody have a good night. Be safe this weekend. Don't drink too much. And at the end of the day, if you remembered what you did yesterday and you actually got stuff done today, you won. Don't let anybody tell you any otherwise. So I appreciate you. Have a good one. And with that, I'm saying